Absolutely, absolutely. Do we have everybody on our end? Did Gabby said she was coming? Okay, okay. All right, today's meeting of the Neighborhood and Affordable Housing Advisory Board is called to order on April 12th. Welcome, everyone. The agenda for today's meeting is on the wall at the entrance of chambers. Please remember to silence your cell phone. To ensure a complete record of the board's actions, we ask that each individual wishing to speak clearly state your name and spell your last name for the clerk. Now I will ask the board members to introduce themselves and identify the fields you each represent. We'll start with you.
Robin Field, Mortgage.
Carmen Santiago for the people.
Kevin Chenault, representing the nonprofit industry.
Pete Scalia, homeless and poor people.
Lindsay Dykes Harrison, real estate.
And I am your board chair, Camille Hepting, and I represent the employers within the city of Clearwater. So our first order of business is to approve the minutes of the board's March 9th meeting. May I have a motion to approve item 2.1? A second?
Second.
All right, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? All right, minutes are approved. Did you get the second, Ms. Sullivan? Okay. Item 3 is citizens to be heard on items regarding items not on the agenda. Is there anyone here to speak to items that are not on today's agenda? If so, please step to the podium and state your name and spell your last name for the clerk. All right, seeing no one, we will move on to the next item. 4.1 is new business. Presentations by applicants for community development block grant funding for public service programs, public facility improvements, and economic development programs. I think Mr. Lane is going to come up for this one.
Thank you. Chuck Lane, Assistant Director, Economic Development Housing Department. This is a pretty neat day for us because you all get to see firsthand, at least hear from our folks that actually put services on the ground, deliver services to our people, to our citizens. So this is an opportunity for you to ask questions, learn more about what they do. Their applications will be ranked and scored by our technical review committee. We have members of that committee that are here today. They may watch this on tape. Other members may watch this on tape. So it's educational for them to the questions you ask may help them understand, the issues and what these services really are. So just to quickly roll through, where we are at this point. On February 16th, we published a notice of funding availability to let everybody know that these funds are available. We had that out for 30 days. We had a technical assistance meeting with potential applicants to let them know, help them understand what the eligible projects are, how to complete a successful application. It's something we do every year during the application cycle. And the application period closed on March 16th. So here we are today, and this is the opportunity for them to present exactly what they applied for. So next week on the 20th, we have our technical review committee meeting. That's a wrap-up meeting. We'll discuss the committee scores, and that's always a very important project because with public services, we're limited with how much money we can spend on public services. So the public service dollars get very competitive. We can spend up to 15% of our allocation. We don't know exactly what our allocation is yet from CDBG, but it's probably going to limit public service expenditures to about $135,000, right? And we have a lot more than that in asks. So the technical review committee is where we tie that in, and that's where it gets competitive. So that's the most important part of this program today. On May 10th, this board will meet again. And we will have staff recommendations for you on our allocations. So that'll be the next step in the process. And then on June 12th, we will begin a 30-day public comment period. We'll have our annual action plan drafted, and it'll be 30 days for the public to review that. That public review period ends July 11th. On July 12th, this board will be asked to recommend council approval of our annual action plan, and that, of course, will contain all of the recommended allocations to these groups. On July 21st, City Council will be asked to approve that plan. We have to submit the plan to HUD no later than July 29th. Actually, August 16th is when we need to submit that plan. We will not miss that deadline, I promise you. And I just want our subrecipients to know, be ready to begin delivering services and spending down your funds on October 1st. That's when the fiscal year begins. So if you have no more questions for me, we can move forward with the presentations.
Awesome. Thank you.
Thank you.
I know the board is just as excited as you are, Chuck, to see the different partners that we work with present today. And thank you all for being here. Our first presenter is Chelsea Waite from Gulf Coast Legal Services. Please come to the podium, and you will have 3 minutes to present.
Good morning.
Morning.
Do I need to spell my name for you? Yeah. It's W-A-I-T. Yep. So I'm with Gulf Coast Legal Services, and I'm here to talk about the Housing Legal Services project that we applied for. It's been around for many years, and it focuses on reducing homelessness in the city of Clearwater. So through support from the city, GLS will provide free civil legal aid services focused on housing matters for income-eligible residents. So all of the people in the project will earn under 80% of the AMI, but for us, mostly we get people who earn under 50%. So through this project, the staff will work on a variety of housing issues. The top two that we've been seeing are evictions and foreclosures, and just for reference, in 2019, evictions were only about 45% of what we did. It's up to about 70% now, and that's due to rising rent costs. So staff will also work on things like fair housing issues, subsidized housing issues, and then other landlord-tenant matters. We try to meet clients in the community, especially with this grant. We do community lawyering, meaning we meet clients at like nonprofit hubs, the library, senior centers, places like that. We also have an outreach manager who's stationed, I think she's there twice a week at the North Greenwood Resource Center. And she's very important for this project because she gets potential clients into the system and helps connect them to an attorney. So our goal for this project is to help 25 clients through this grant. And about 80% of those clients, we hope to have a positive outcome for them. A positive outcome for us is avoiding an eviction, sealing an eviction, or sometimes even just giving them more time in their current housing so they can find another more affordable place to go. We also will help them get emergency rental assistance. That's been a lifesaver for a lot of our clients in keeping them housed. And then lastly, anybody who comes in through this project will be referred to our other substantive units. So, for example, if we have a client who is struggling with an eviction, but they're also experiencing domestic violence, we can refer them to our family law unit, get them a divorce, an injunction for protection, or something similar. So that's all I have on this project, if you have any questions.
Thank you so much. Are there any questions or comments from the board?
So how are your clients referred to you to receive these services?
So it depends. A lot of them come through our nonprofit partners, the Hispanic Outreach Center, the Long Center. I believe we also have flyers here at this library. The outreach manager as well. Some people just find us online. Word of mouth is a really big way that we get referrals. So past clients will sometimes even tell current clients about us.
Yeah, our office will refer, we've referred a lot of folks to Gulf Coast Legal, particularly in the pandemic. Fair housing issues and eviction. It's been a very valuable service.
Thank you. I have one more question. You're projecting 25 residents to receive assistance. Do you see that the demand is a lot higher than what you can provide?
Yes, currently it is. We've expanded our housing unit quite a bit in the last 2 years. Like I said before, evictions are up a great percentage. So we have expanded. We're not able to meet all of the need. The biggest concern for us right now is not actually housing focused, it's financial stability. So while we've been able to expand under CDBG grants to help with housing, lots of clients have financial stability issues that also go with those housing problems. So if we don't address those, they're just going to come back next year. So our biggest issue right now is maintaining the force that we have for housing and trying to find ways to expand with financial stability.
Any other questions from the board? Okay, thank you so much.
Thank you.
All right, our next presenter is Kathleen Russell from Pinellas County Opportunity Council. Ms. Russell, you'll have 3 minutes.
Russell, Russell. Thank you for having me today, and thank you for the past support from the City of Clearwater. Clearwater funding is a vital part of our funding source. Our program is to serve the 60-plus seniors throughout Pinellas County, in particular City of Clearwater, with heavy household cleaning, yard work, and minor repairs. These are seniors who no longer can do the work themselves, have no one to help them, and financially can't afford to do it. Our goal is to keep them in their homes, independent, and to age in place. We are the only agency that does this in the county, and we've been doing it for 45 years. We're asking for $25,000 to serve 28 seniors with 500 hours or more of direct services. Under the current funding right now, we've served 12 seniors with 265 hours of service. And last year, 62% of those we served were below 30% of the AMI, so we do serve those that are very low income. Currently, we have 170 people from the City of Clearwater on our wait list, which is 21% of our wait list. So, the services that we provide, the heavy household cleaning is washing windows and screens, doing shampooing carpets, vacuuming, cleaning all the appliances, bathrooms, like spring cleaning. The yard work includes mowing, raking, weed eating, and debris removal. And the minor repairs are just really minor repairs. We're repairing a leaky faucet, screens, door locks, anything that does not require a licensed professional. The best way to describe our program is to put a face to it. We just recently served an 81-year-old client in Clearwater. She was referred from the condo association. She had spider and roach infestation and very foul odor. We removed 4 truckloads of debris from her home, and after 4 days, we brought it back to livable sanitary conditions. In her evaluation to us, she wrote that it's the first time since 2017 she's been able to sit at her dining room table and eat. So that just shows the type of places that we do go into and help these seniors. I'd be remiss if I don't talk about my staff, which I always do. I have some staff that have been there over 40 years, some over 35, some over 20. Shows their dedication to working with the seniors in our community. And as you can imagine, no 2 days are alike in their job. Thank you again for your support, and do you have any questions?
Thank you. Any questions or comments from the board?
All right, could you tell me again how many people that you want to, this grant is going to help you?
28.
28 people.
Yes.
Thank you.
But we have other funding that serves other Clearwater. Thank you.
All right, next up is Our Club Childcare. I believe Lynn Tucker will be presenting facility improvement projects at 2 separate childcare centers. And because you have multiple projects, you will have 5 minutes to present. Okay, thank you.
Hello.
Good morning.
My name is Lynn Tucker. I'm the Strategic Initiatives Director with Our Club Childcare.
And I'm Mike Smith, the Purchase and Property Coordinator with Arc. Mike Smith.
So we're here today. I'm going to speak collectively about both applications because they're almost the same. It's just the footprint of one facility is a little larger, requires a little more duct work. So just to tell you who we are, we're Tampa Bay's leading nonprofit child care provider. We have 49 locations, 48 of them in Pinellas County, and we serve over 3,500 children annually, ages 2 months to 22 years, with approximately 425 staff. Now, during the pandemic, that's been a challenge with staffing, and that's why what we're proposing we think will create better health situations at the facilities for both staff and children. So we basically, our mission is to deliver high quality early learning and child care services, and we choose our locations to ensure that high poverty and low income communities have access to high quality child care. So 2/3 of our early learning academies are in high poverty communities in Pinellas County, which includes the facility at Gateway and Breeden. And so I've included some facts on each of these facilities on one of the sides of the handout. So we're proposing approximately $88,000 combined funding request for Gateway and Breeden. It would improve air quality to decrease staff and children's absences, especially during COVID-19. Reduce children's absences allow parents to work. So the majority of the families that are served in both facilities, 89% of them are Clearwater residents in Gateway and 82 are Clearwater residents at Breeden. Most of them, if not 100% of them, qualify for low to moderate income. We also have domestic violence situations where families are placed in our child care services as part of the HELP program that is in Clearwater. So our request is for Gateway is for $46,662 to put new ductwork and to put for what is called a air purification system. It's a new system that came out with the with the onset of COVID-19. It's an air purifier that's put in the air handlers right next to the HVAC units. This is very technical, in the facilities, and it sprays highly ionized particles of hydroperoxides, and that kills the circulating air as it's coming through the system. So it's got a 99% effective rate, and it was tested for corona and SARS virus. So we're hoping these two projects for Breeden, the request is for $42,140, and that is to also do ductwork and put 5 air purification units in there. And so basically the ductwork in these buildings are original. And so to put an air purification system in a dirty ductwork, you're going to just be circulating the dirty, unclean air. So the ductwork needed to be replaced in order to apply the air purification systems. So we're hoping that we feel that this will improve air quality and ventilation to prevent the spread of coronavirus and to ensure the facility's continued usefulness during an outbreak. Based on the National Forum for Early Childhood Children policy and programs, the return on investment on public dollars for $88,000 investment is approximately $425,000 to $1,065,000. So that would be the investment. It's important to keep kids in the schools and staff not absent, because when staff are absent due to an infection or COVID, then the classrooms can't operate because of the licensing ratios. So we have to keep both staff and children healthy. Are there any questions?
Any questions or comments from the board?
I've got 2 questions.
Yes.
First off, your grant application, is that just for installation, or is there any long-term maintenance or replacement of the units as they deteriorate?
So, did you want
On we're replacing the ductwork, that replaces that, but on the Halo LED thing, there's a light that has to be replaced every 5 years or more.
Okay.
It's not a whole lot of maintenance.
The second question I have is just on the funding. If by chance you do not receive full funding, do you have a plan for funding and completing the project without full funding?
At this time, no, we don't. We could pursue other funding for other capital projects. We could pursue with the Pinellas Community Foundation. We could try JWB. But at this time, this is a facility opportunity to do something that we normally wouldn't be able to do. So,
So this project is eligible for, as you all know, we receive regular allocations of CDBG. We also have CDBG CV money, which is intended to fund projects and activities directly related to COVID. We may, if this project is approved, we may fund this project with those funds. So it may not be in our typical annual action plan.
Okay.
But if approved, we'll have that option, just to let the board know.
I just had a quick question. So these are separate units from your air handlers. They're installed separately.
so,
Go ahead.
yeah, so there, so in the air handler, they cut a little hole in the side. It's about this big. And you can see externally that it's working. And then the reason we needed new ductwork is the system has to be sealed. So it seals there, and then you can just change and service the unit from the outside of the air handler.
So if the air handlers have to be replaced, these units can be put into a new system?
Yes, yes. And these air handlers were there from 1960 and 1985 originally.
Okay.
And so they're not, air handlers get changed periodically.
I'd say they're maybe 4 years old right now, the air handlers.
Yeah.
May I ask how many kids are served at each location currently?
Yeah. Well, and that varies because we serve a lot of homeless families and families in transitional situations. But Gateway serves approximately 30 students between the ages of 2 months to 5 years, and Breeden serves approximately 50.
Okay, thank you.
Okay.
Any other questions from the board? Okay, thank you so much.
Thank you so much.
Our next presenter is Zachary White from Homeless Emergency Project, also known as Homeless Empowerment Program, that you also probably known as HEP. You will have 5 minutes to present 1 public service application and 2 facility improvement projects.
Good morning. My name is Zachary White, W-H-I-T-E, the Executive Vice President with HEP, the Homeless Empowerment Program. So I believe I have 4 total? 3.
3 total, yeah.
Forgive me, we have several in process. So I don't know if there's any particular order before I go through. Or not, but
Go anywhere.
the first one we're looking at is we operate a 32-unit permanent housing apartment complex for veterans. And so that was newly constructed in 2012, and along with that development came a very sophisticated HVAC system. And so this HVAC system is essentially a complex web of technology throughout the entire building that consists of various sensors, computer boards. There's one certified tech within the entire state of Florida that is essentially equipped to work on these types of repairs. And unfortunately, year after year, HEP has experienced significant problems with these units. They fail on us repeatedly throughout the year. Coincidentally, it always seems to be, in the heat of summer or the dead of winter, of course. And so it's been a significant financial burden on HEP throughout the years, and a significant disruption to, a comfortable environment for the veterans that we house there. So the request we've submitted really focuses on hiring a certified mechanical engineer to come in, assess the entire complex, and give us a realistic, in-depth, knowledgeable assessment of truly what would be an ideal replacement for this HVAC system. It's 10 years old, so it's a fairly new system in relative terms, yet year after year we're spending anywhere from $15,000 to $30,000 in repairs. And to me, the finances, that's one thing, of course, but then having this type of ongoing disruption for the veterans that we house is really, I'd say, what kind of keeps me awake at night. And so you know, if we're able to get a mechanical engineer in there, tell us kind of what would be ideal moving forward, and then establish some replacement costs for a new system overall. I anticipate that to be a significant expense. However, HEP has made the decision and committed to, you know, exploring this, getting it right, and ensuring that we have a reliable HVAC system for the complex for decades to come. And so I'd be happy to take any questions in regards to this specific project.
You stated you have 32 units. Are they all currently occupied?
They are. Well, with the exception of perhaps 2 or 3 in the moment, if we're going through maintenance turnovers or whatnot. But these units largely rely on veterans in receipt of VASH vouchers or other housing subsidies, and so we participate in the coordinated entry system for these placements, so the referrals are continual. So if there's any vacancies, they won't be for long.
So this grant is technically for a consultant, in layman's terms, to come in and evaluate the system and give you feedback, correct?
Yes, sir, that's correct. In addition to providing a viable, you know, solution and some actual specs that we could submit, you know, for planning and permitting and that sort of thing, and have a blueprint, if you will, for moving forward.
Okay.
Any
Thank you.
other questions from the board?
None on that application.
All right, thank you. Moving on, the next project, looks like we have a Park Street Apartments. These are another 8-unit apartment complex that we offer permanent housing for veterans and non-veterans alike. And so these are 2-story units. They're located right here in Clearwater, right next to St. Vincent de Paul's feeding site, actually. Although I don't recall the age of construction, these complexes have 2 stairwells, and we're noticing a lot of rust and a lot of deterioration with the stairwells. And so we've had similar issues in the past with other complexes, and before long they became life safety issues. And so this is very much a preventative scope that we're trying to stay ahead of the curve and, you know, get a handle on these stairwell units, repair them, restore them to ensure the safety, the presence of them, just the beautification of the complex as well, and hopefully to address that, get rid of all the rust, redo the painting, and just ensure a prolonged stability of the stairwells. And in addition to that, the units themselves, we're looking at bathroom renovations. If we're able to redo the bathrooms, you know, in terms of cost, maybe I think reduce a lot of the tubs, eliminate the tubs, replace with showers. It's more cost prohibitive, or would allow, for greater renovation at a lower cost. And so that would just ensure the life and prolonged stability and preservation of the units for housing for decades to come for those in need. Any questions in that regard?
Any questions from the board?
Looks like I have 16 seconds left. 16 seconds. This last focus is a routine focus, I'd say, in terms of how HEP coming to this board every year. And this request is for a full-time case management position. HEP operates a 101 bed shelter program, emergency shelter program, and I'm out of time, but you know, that amounts to several hundred individuals sheltered throughout the year. And so it's a 24-hour shelter, and of course we need staff to ensure a safe, stable environment in addition to enhanced and expedited service to the residents that we serve. So I appreciate your time. HEP thanks you significantly. Very much appreciate you and appreciate the time.
I have one question on the services grant, the one you just described. This is an ongoing project you've had with us. Is this funding one particular staff person or just general funding for the shelter itself?
This would be for one staff position in particular.
And that position's already filled, it's just funding the existing position?
We have vacancies. HEP struggled in terms of staffing throughout this pandemic. You know, I think across the board we've seen a lot of staffing issues through various agencies, industries, occupations. So it's our hope to just get fully staffed and retain those staff and have the funds to support that 24-hour, 7 days a week operation. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Okay, Suncoast Housing Connections, formerly known as Tampa Bay CDC, will present 2 applications, one for down payment assistance and another one for homeowner education and counseling. You will have 5 minutes.
Thank you very much. Ellen Stoffer, S-T-O-F-F-E-R. I, like my predecessors, want to thank the City of Clearwater for their many, many years of support for our homeownership programs. And I'm going to combine, we did submit 2, one for homebuyer education and counseling and the other for down payment assistance. For us, that's all one big program. It's all part of our home buying program. So I'm going to talk a little bit about the what, but I want to spend a bit more time on the why, especially in the situation we're in today with the housing situation. So we are a 40-year-old HUD-approved housing counseling agency. We actually are celebrating our 40th anniversary this June. What I put up here is some statistics that talk about how many people we've helped in those 40 years. Let me just move this up so you can see. 63,838 people have been helped by the services of what used to be Tampa Bay CDC and is now Suncoast Housing Connection. And those services are pre-purchase counseling, foreclosure counseling, homebuyer education, down payment assistance, underwriting on behalf of City of Clearwater, building homes, and helping people to actually purchase their homes. And that's what we do every single day. That is our focus. It's been our focus, and it's going to continue to be a focus. So I want to switch. So that's the what, because I think I see a lot of familiar faces who know what housing counseling is all about. But what I really want to focus more about is the why, especially. We've all read the newspapers. We've all attended meetings. We've heard the newscasts. There's a dwindling supply of affordable housing. People on this committee can probably attest to that. Pinellas County has been a seller's market for over a year, with the costs being 20% higher today than they were this date 1 year ago. According to the ALICE report, I don't know if all of you know ALICE. ALICE stands for Asset Limited, Income Constrained Employed. They're the working folks who sometimes are working 2 and 3 jobs just to go paycheck to paycheck. That report states that in the state of Florida, 1 in 6 households are spending more than half of their income on housing. We also know that anybody that is spending more than 30% of their income on housing is what they call housing cost burdened. We want to help address that. All of those statistics could make one thing, that this is not a time for low to moderate income families to be buying homes. I'm here to tell you this is where we come in. This is why the work that we do is so important. Pre-purchase counseling and education have proven to be most effective when started early in a home buyer's process. If a family has a home ownership goal, and many families do regardless of their income, they need help in getting the information necessary to make informed decisions. They need help in getting to what one of the prior presenters talked about, financial stability. And so the housing counseling aspect of that allows us to work with them on the front end of their home buying process, make sure their finances are in order, make sure they have the information needed to build a strong home buying team so that when they are ready, they've got what they need and they're an informed buyer. We all want informed buyers. By working with the housing counselor, and all of our counselors are HUD certified, which as of last year became a requirement. Not easy to find in the state of Florida. 30% of the people who take the test pass the test. So it is needles and haystacks. We're very fortunate, all of our staff are HUD certified. But again, they're gonna be working with those clients to put them on the road to financial stability through improvements to their budgets. We're gonna be looking at their budgets. We're gonna be looking at their income. We're gonna be helping them to create an action plan. So when they are ready, they can successfully become a homeowner. Our counselors really guide them through the journey. When they are ready, they will then make the recommendation to apply for the down payment assistance program through City of Clearwater. We do the underwriting of that for them. And so by working with them from beginning to end, even in this difficult market, when they're ready, well, when their home is available and they're ready to buy, they are an informed buyer, and they will then hopefully become a successful homeowner and be living their American dream. I just also want to say, I have 11 seconds. In the current grant cycle, we've already provided services to 53 unduplicated Clearwater residents, with 6 of them, or 11% of them, becoming homeowners.
I was going to ask you, what would this funding provide in terms of number of people that you can help, or number of houses?
We are projecting, well, for the homebuyer education and counseling, 100 unduplicated.
Okay.
And then it would be 10 down payment assistance loans that we would underwrite on behalf of the city.
Any other questions from the board?
I just have 2 questions, and they really tie together, so I'll ask them together and let you expand on it. First is there a set curriculum that is used? And then following that, do you have a measurement of success other than a client becoming a homeowner? Is there a way to measure success of the program?
Yes, well, for the homebuyer education class, there's absolutely a curriculum. NeighborWorks America created a curriculum called Realizing the American Dream. It's a HUD-approved curriculum. It's an 8-hour program, and everybody that takes the class gets that curriculum. In terms of measurements, yeah, homeownership is ultimately the goal, if that's the client's goal. But other measurements of success, if someone comes in and they have a credit score does not make them viable to become a homeowner, they work with our counselor. They make the changes necessary to their spending, to their debit, to their debts. That's a success, because they came from being not a homeowner potential to potentially being a homeowner. So we look at things like improvements in credit score, decreases in debt, increases in savings. Those are all incremental successes that lead them to their goal. If they're coming to us, most of them want that home. That's their goal. But many people realize, yeah, they don't want that, but they still want the help of getting themselves financially stable. Financial stability is another success measure for us.
Any other questions from the board? All right, thank you very much.
Thank you.
Next up is Tampa Bay Neighborhood Housing Services, recently known as Clearwater Neighborhood Housing Services. They also will present applications for down payment assistance and homeowner education and counseling. And they've also applied for facility improvement projects. You will have 5 minutes.
Thank you. I'm Roger Rayburn, R-A-Y-B-U-R-N. I have to begin by saying that 2 weeks ago I was prepared to, well, first let me just start by saying everything that that she just said, ditto, because we do the same type of work that they do. However, 2 weeks ago when I was preparing the notes of what we were going to ask on and speak on, it changed immediately, and I wasn't prepared for that. In 2008, September 15th, I was on a cruise ship, and that same day, Lehman Brothers announced they were bankrupt. And so, which set a worldwide craziness when it came to financial stability. Last week, I was on a cruise ship, came back, and interest rates have gone through the roof. I was prepared to talk about, very much similar to what was just spoken, about the fact that we need to provide stability for folks. Absolutely. Housing is amazing when it comes to that. As mentioned before, it's just astounding the number of folks that are using 50% or more of their income toward their housing. It's just an insane number these days. The only way that families can get stable is to be able to control where their money is going. By using programs such as the Clearwater Down Payment Assistance Program, we can help folks to stabilize themselves. Rents are going through the roof, as we know. And someone who is buying a home and can lock that payment in, they know what their house payment is going to be this year, next year, 10 years, 20 years. Being able to leave behind generational wealth for their families. Breaking the generational poverty that we're a part of. Our proposals that we have, all three, all tied together. One is for homebuyer education and counseling. One is for providing the down payment assistance program. The other is for facilities for our building. They all three go hand in hand. The reason that I just was in a whirlwind last night when I was looking at what I was going to say was, before I left, interest rates were about 4%. Today, they're between 5 and 6. And they're going to go up at least 3 more times this year. The Feds have told us that. There's no way around it. And so what is happening is that we have folks that just a month ago that were able to buy a home and were approved for $250,000 at 3% and change are now able to buy a $160,000 home for that same dollar amount of $1,100 a month. So what does that mean? What is going to rise, and it's already starting, we've seen numbers already just yesterday, subprime mortgages are coming back. Subprime mortgages are what created the problem in 2008 that led to massive foreclosures in Florida. And if I have $1,100 a month to spend on a house payment, and I was now told I could do $160,000, or I could do a adjustable rate mortgage, and I could buy a $250,000 house for the same $1,100, I'm going to go there, more than likely, because no one's going to tell me not to. That's what housing counseling agencies do. We're the only one that stands up and says, look, hey, you've got to look at what you're doing. You could go up 4 more points beyond that, 5 more points beyond that, and no one's going to ring that bell except for agencies like ours. We're proposing we have between 20 and 40 families each month come through our homebuyer education. We're proposing that through the city we're able to pay for 90 some odd of those folks. We're proposing that we can assist about 7 folks to actually get the down payment assistance through the city of Clearwater, again, to help them stabilize their income. We're also lastly proposing that we can get funding for our building. We've been in the Greenwood area for a number of years, and we want to stay there. Thank you.
Any questions or comments from the board?
I'd just like to say that I would suggest you stay ashore in the future.
Yeah, that was what I told my wife last night, and she didn't like that.
I'm going to ask the same question I asked
Sure,
just a second ago
please.
about curriculum and measurements. Do you have anything different that you would like to expand on for your agency than what was talked about from the previous?
Yeah, and that is the fact that we are also a NeighborWorks agency. So the curriculum that we do is approved by NeighborWorks. I was a NeighborWorks consultant for years and helped even create some of that material. Where we are going to have to go is we have not been spending a lot of time talking about subprime mortgages. in talking about those kind of items. The curriculum's in there, but it's light. So we will need to beef that up even more, because this is an area that scares me to death. I lived through it before. It was ugly, and I was with an organization when this hit where weekly, we had 50 families sitting in a room who were facing foreclosure. Every week, a new set of 50. And I just don't want to go there again. I'd much rather, help folks to not be in that situation. Thank you.
Will you talk a little bit about the facility improvement project?
Yeah, absolutely.
Since you got cut short?
Yeah, our building is pretty unique. It's kind of bizarre. So we're in what used to be a home that was not actually where we are located. And so it was physically moved to the location where it is now. It was given to the organization. And so therefore, it's a home that's a lot of years old. And I don't know the exact date of the home. The home has been added on to several times to make it more of an office setting. So there's a newer section, and then there's the original section. The roof is where we need the love more than anything else. It's in really, really bad shape. And so it hasn't been replaced in forever. And so that's the biggest piece of it. There's other pieces that go along with that, but really it is not so much just beautification, is actually that the building, it just needs the love that hasn't been there in the past.
Any other questions? Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
Next up is the Arc of Tampa Bay. They have a public service application, so they will have 3 minutes to present. Good morning.
Good morning. Hi, I'm Caroline Reginelli with the Arc Tampa Bay, and that's REGINELLI. The Arc Tampa Bay was formerly known as U Park. We've been around in this community for a while. Our mission is to serve people with intellectual and developmental disabilities. We have residential programs, day programs, programs for transitional youth, supported employment, and for children with autism. The program we're applying for is our Waterfall apartment complex. What's unique about the Waterfall apartment complex is our services out there are unfunded. And this is because we have a commitment to what the program tries to accomplish. It's a semi-independent or transitional housing program. So basically, the individuals that reside at Waterfall, and we have the capacity to serve 25, there's 23 out there right now, they receive supports from direct support professional for transportation, for everyday living, to help them be safe and healthy in the community. A prime example is during COVID. Our support staff out there were routinely checking on individuals to make sure that they were staying healthy. We did have an outbreak out there. Our direct support professional staff went out there several times throughout the day. They did COVID testing with the help from the health department. They helped them get monoclonal antibody treatment. We did have one individual out there pass away. So that's just how committed our staff are to keeping everyone safe and healthy out there. The purpose of this program is to help individuals acquire skills so that hopefully one day they can transition into independent living situations. The reason the program is unfunded is we're not funded by the Agency for Persons with Disabilities for individuals out there. APD has a huge waiting list. There's about 20,000 people on their waiting list. And take into account they're going to be on that waiting list for years. So people, when they get transitioned off the waiting list, they might not need our services, or they might be so in need of specific supports and services that they're a high-risk situation, so they're not going to qualify for Waterfall apartments. A lot of the individuals out there are funded for supported employment services, but that's to help them with their job skills. So what we want to do is help them transition from semi-independent living into independent living. A lot of the individuals there come to us from their family home. their family wants their child to be more independent. So they realize that, okay, I'm not quite ready to let them go out there, but maybe someone can help provide them support so that they can be independent. Any questions?
Mike, your application is for salary support for
One direct support.
one of your staff?
Yes.
Is this an existing staff person, or are you going to take time to have to hire?
Right now, there is a vacancy. We have an apartment manager out there, but we want to fund the direct support professional position. We were very fortunate. The individual out there had been with us for 20 years, and he retired. So we are having a hard time replacing him. We are experiencing a staffing shortage in our agency. We have about a 40% vacancy rate, which is unprecedented. We've had to close 2 group homes and consolidate the residents there into other group homes. So it is a challenge, but we're committed to this program.
So the position was filled previously?
Yes.
So it's not a new position,
No,
new creation?
It's in our budget. Our budget for Waterfall basically runs at a deficit every year. We're fortunate in that we have the Arc Tampa Bay Foundation, which gives us pass-through money every year, so that as an agency we can fund programs like this that mean a lot to us and that serve a need.
Thank you.
Okay. Any other questions?
And you said that the Waterfall apartment complex serves 25 people?
It has capacity for 25. Right now we have 23 out there.
Any other questions from the board? All right, thank you so much.
All right, thank you.
Up next is Directions for Living. And I have 2 presenters, excellent. You will have 3 minutes to present your application for Public Facilities Improvement Project.
Thank you for having us.
Good
My
morning.
name is Mark Knatt. I'm the Director of Finance.
And I'm Chris Johnson, the Director of Facilities.
Will you spell your last names for the clerk, please?
Canant.
JOHNSON, Johnson.
Today we are asking for elevator upgrades. Our elevator is has an obsolete control board that could go out at any moment, which would make us not in ADA compliance. So today we are asking for around $89,000 to get that processing board replaced, get it upgraded, install a door protection system, which would make it more safer for our clients coming in and out of the office. So that, because right now we have the older version that just has one laser at the very bottom, and there are times when people, reach through, and it doesn't see that. It only see a foot. So that's an upgrade there. And as to also install a new door operator and upgrade the interior of the cab, as it is multiple years old. It was at least 20. Yeah, it's original to the building. We do have a contract with Otis Elevator, and they have worked through the quote in the proposal. So we kind of have to use Otis Elevator as source, but we were just asking for that today. Any questions?
Any questions from the board?
Okay, thank you very much.
Thank you so much. Next up is West Care Gulf Coast, Florida, and they have an application for their Turning Point program. Good morning.
My name is Katrina Tucker, and I am the program director at the Turning Point. I've been there for about 16 years now. Turning Point is an inebriate receiving facility, and we serve homeless people that have problems with addiction. The money that we're asking is to help fund a case manager, which we already have. We serve about, even though we're in St. Pete, we serve the Clearwater area as well. We serve probably about 15% of Clearwater monthly. We're asking that you help us to continue our services that we offer. We are an alternative to the police officers who want to take clients to jail. They can take clients to the Turning Point and stay at to sober up. We're alternative to the emergency rooms, which have a lot of clients in there that are homeless and that just need a place to sober up. We're not a medical detox. We're non-medical, so we assist the clients in going through their withdrawals and observe them very closely so that they will have a safe place to detox. And then we get them up and get them involved. We have about 5 or 6 groups a day, and we're teaching them life skills, recovery skills, introducing them to 12-step recovery, and helping them to transition from our program into maybe our halfway house, transitional living, which is mustard seed, or a step up or a step down in whatever services and support they need to continue sobriety. Any questions?
Will you repeat the numbers you gave us? You said you're located in St. Pete, but there's a certain number of Clearwater residents that you assist?
About 15%, probably between 12 and 15 out of a month.
Okay.
We receive from
Excellent.
Clearwater. And we receive them from all over Pinellas County as well.
Katrina, first of all, I want to thank you for what you do. I think it's probably goes more unnoticed than any of the services that are provided for the community out there. You guys do great work.
Thank you.
I wish there was. Where do you get your primary funding from?
We get a little bit of funding from all over the place, just enough to keep us going. We have other programs within West Care that when we don't meet our budget, the programs that make money help us as well as, to stay afloat. Because we charge nothing for the clients to come there. They can stay up to 30 days. So we kind of hustle.
I know you do, and it's always been a bewilderment to me, quite honestly, that more organizations aren't connected with you because you're really the first step for a lot of the people that are out there having trouble to get back on their feet and get going forward. And it's sometimes, and I don't mean this in a negative, it's almost like a void or a black hole. They go in, they get help, and then there's nothing out there the next step out. And they fall back down, and we go through the cycle again. And I just want to, I know the work you do, and you guys, you blow me away. You guys are great.
I was hoping that you asked me if we had any success stories. And
do you have any success stories?
Yes, we do.
Can I hear one?
As a matter of fact, Turning Point is known as the second chance place of employment. I can hire people who've had, extensive criminal record, and right now I have 4 staff out of 12 that have been through the Turning Point, gotten sober, and I've hired them. So that's a tribute to the work we do. I hire people that go through the program, and sometimes they can. One person's been through Turning Point 12 times before they got it. Another one's been through Turning Point 7 times, and you just never know which time they're gonna get it. So we want to stay open, and we want to continue to take people in so that we don't miss that opportunity if it's their time to get clean and sober, like it was my time to get clean and sober 36 years ago.
Thank you.
Any other questions?
Any other questions? Thank you so much.
Thank you.
All right, our next presenter is Hope Villages of America, formerly known as RCS Pinellas. And they have one application, public service application, so there'll be 3 minutes to present. Good morning.
Thank you. I am Judith Warren, W-A-R-R-E-N, and I am Vice President of Advancement and Contracts for Hope Villages of America. In this 3 minutes, I'm going to try and accomplish 2 things. I'm going to give you a background on Hope Villages and talk to you a little bit about our funding request. For those of you that aren't familiar with Hope Villages, formerly RCS, we were founded in 1967, and 15 churches came together to pool their resources and meet the needs of those residents in poverty. Since then, Hope Villages has diversified. We have a large food bank pushing out 70 million pounds of food annually. We have abuse services, domestic violence shelter that's certified, and outreach services. Our request today is related to our homeless services, and that is to support Grace House. It is a family homeless shelter, and we have been in existence for 25 years. The primary work that we do is to increase self-sufficiency, improve life skills, increase income, and support the advancement of their career job skills. All right, so last year we had stellar outcomes, and that is attributed to the case management position that I'm going to talk later about. 9 out of 10 of our families served were able to get into permanent housing. 8 out of 10 of our guests served were able to get a stable job, and 75% showed an increase in income. So again, the request here today is for a percentage of a case management position. You know, we call upon our case managers to do a variety of functions. We ask them to be resource specialists, to know all the resources in the community. We ask them to be housing specialists, to help complete vouchers and know the housing resources out there, and walk residents through the application process. We ask them to be career coaches, assessing what their skills are, helping to break down barriers, and getting them connected to jobs or education. So the specific measures that we want to look for this position is really driven around career, and that is 90% of our guests will become employed or enrolled in vocational training or education programming by the time of discharge. And then a standard one is 90% of the clients will improve in self-sufficiency. We serve 230 annually. With the request, would be about $100 per client. Thank you, and any questions?
Judith, I just want to thank you for being a provider of family shelter. We all know, and we've talked, that families are near and dear to our hearts, and I want to thank you for what Hope Villages of America does there. Yes, there is success. There's permanent housing, which you share. Is there any connection long-term or support to help them stay?
Yes.
Once they become permanently housed?
Yes, so case management does follow up initially at the 30-day marker, but then 6 months and a year following. And longer if they need it, let me just say that. Any other questions? Thank you for your time.
Thank you so much. All right, next up is Society of St. Vincent de Paul Community Kitchen and Resource Center. Christine Bond is here, and we'll have 3 minutes to present.
Hello, Bond, B-O-N-D. I just put them down here, correct? Let's do this. Like that. Hopefully that shows a little bit. So at the St. Vincent de Paul Community Kitchen and Resource Center, we take a two-pronged approach to our services. First, we deal with the emergency needs of the day. So we provide a hearty, nutritious meal, showers, laundry, mail service. We host the mobile medical unit and the mobile dental unit, and someone from the public defender's office comes each week. So we deal with those issues to keep someone going. On the other side, we work to address the issues that have led them to poverty and to homelessness and keep them homeless. So we have an employment readiness program where when the students graduate, we help them with job placement and with housing. This is in partnership with Park, and we provide funding for that to get them housed and deposits and rent, and we work with our community partners to do that. We also do referrals for rehab, for detox programs, for mental health services. And we have the Homeward Bound program, which is a program to return people back to friends and family. We've also bought plane tickets and bus tickets to get them back or get them into rehab facilities and mental health facilities that they've applied to and have been accepted across the country. And we're averaging sending 1 to 2 people home every week, even more recently. So that's been pretty exciting for them and for us to see that happen. We've seen a real uptick in people coming in. In March, we had 545 unduplicated people come to the kitchen to eat, and 200 of those were new to the kitchen. And we've seen this each month, that it keeps growing. So we average about 100 to 125 people a day coming in to eat. But they've also learned that we provide other services. We have the street outreach team there every day. The City of Clearwater police are wonderful to help us with transportation to detox and other places. And we do have them come in for intake for to do the VI SPDAT, which is where they assess the need. And we enter everyone into the Pinellas Homeless Management Information System, and that's how we know our numbers pretty accurately. We serve 7 days a week, so if they come in on the weekend and they don't have a card for the system, we feed them. We're never going to turn someone away from feeding them or providing them clothing or any other emergency needs. So our numbers are actually a little greater than what we expect. So our facility is 40 years old, and as you can see from these pictures, we have some tile that's pretty exhausted and somewhat of a trip hazard. And in our front offices, we have old industrial type carpet. The mobile dental unit, their bus has been broken for quite a while, so they come in and operate out of our building, and so they have to operate in the chapel because it's the only hard surface floor where they can operate, and it really doesn't give anybody much privacy because inside our chapel is also our storage unit. So, does anybody have questions?
Christine, if memory serves me correctly, you applied for some facility rehab last year.
Yes.
And you're applying again this year.
Yes.
Is this a continuation of last year's, completely separate?
Yes.
Expand a little bit more about what you're looking to do.
Just the floors.
Just the flooring on
That
this
was the next thing on the list. The thing we requested last year that is wonderful is the kitchen line of equipment and renovating our front offices and the bathrooms. I'm also doing a capital campaign to build 2 more bathrooms in our dining area. Pinellas Community Foundation has granted us $20,000 and a private donor has granted $25,000. So we're trying to match that because the quotes coming in are about $48,000. Because right now we have 2 bathrooms, and one we provide showers throughout our whole service time, and the other is the restroom. So of our 100 or more people, we have 1 bathroom. So we're trying to build 2 more bathrooms so we can have 2 showers because there are always more people who want to shower than we have space, and 2 bathrooms.
So this is the kitchen, the hallway, and the offices flooring?
Yes, it was ambitious. I asked, for $84,000, but with less, we would do the critical items, which are the front offices, because one of the offices we're trying to convert into a lab where we'll have laptops and phones. Right now, as clients come in, they come to my office and I work with them, and they really need that help. I'm going to have to bring in other people to work with them because they need help reading. Some of them can't read, some of them can't navigate the system, the online applications, all that stuff. So, but we really need clean floors that we can mop and maintain rather than carpet with the clients we have coming in.
Thank you.
Any other questions from the board? Thank you, Christine.
Thank you very much.
All right, the Kimberly Home Pregnancy Resource Center is our next presenter. And, all right, I see them walk up. We'll have 3 minutes to present. Please make sure to spell your last name for the clerk, okay?
Good morning. My name is Kate Kelly. I'm the Executive Director of Kimberly Home. And
my name is Monique Whitaker, the Transitional Housing Director.
W-H-I-T-A-K-E-R. I'm sorry, Kelloy. Many of you are familiar with Kimberly Home. We've been around for 39 years and are located at the corner of Drew Street in Missouri. We are an outreach to women in unplanned or difficult pregnancy situations and have been providing counseling and material assistance. And in addition, over the years, we have added child care for children from ages of 2 months to up to 3 years of age. And we're here today to talk a little bit about our housing program, which we started back in the year 2000. Thanks to the city of Clearwater, we have been able to increase those, the availability of those houses over the years. And now we have 7 homes of varying sizes. Some are shared homes, 2 to 3 bedrooms, and some are individual apartments. And today we are asking for help with the assistance of the salary of our resident advisor, AKA our house mom. This is a really vital position to these women who are here with us for just some emotional support and safety and stability. She acts as basically their mom away from home and provides much more assistance to them and to Monique throughout the year she provides not necessarily transportation, but cleaning and preparing the apartments and support. And she sits with Monique and does the interviews and the intake. And especially during the night, this is the most important position to have. Babies tend to come in the middle of the night, and it's important to have somebody there 24/7 as well as on the weekends. We have also many classes for the moms that come through a program called Moms University, and they teach pregnancy preparation, breastfeeding, babysitting, baby massage. Monique has a program going, and we also teach cooking to those moms as well as life skills throughout the year and any other, sometimes just fun classes. They do bingo nights, and so they can do support groups, and the moms can bond with each other and form a bond between each other that provides them personal support. And do you have anything to add?
Okay, great. So your application is to support the salary of this person?
Yes.
Okay. I think that's what they applied for last year as well, right? All right, any questions from the board?
I have, sorry, I have one. So what is your success ratio in reference to the females that go through your program?
Can you just repeat that?
Yeah, like how many of the females that are in your program actually get back on their feet and stay on their feet?
I would say the percentage will be about 95%.
We can tell you a success story if you ask us.
Yes, please.
One of the ones we're most proud of was recently we had a young woman who she was pregnant and her desire was to be a doctor, and she thought she was never going to be able to accomplish that. So we did let her stay a little longer than most people would. She applied to take the MCATs. She took them 3 times, and she ended up successfully finishing them. And we are proud to say that she is in her 2nd year of medical school at this time. And she recently moved out, and she moved out, transitioned into the
Hope Villages of America.
Hope Villages. So
With the Salvation.
which we do back and forth refer to a lot of other agencies, so they refer to us, and so and she's in Salvation Army right now, right? We're very proud of her and all of the girls who come through.
Any other questions from the board?
I just want to thank you for what you do. Yes, full disclosure, we do have a partnership, we do work well together. But there is, in following up with Hope Village's presentation on families, there's no better time to break the cycle of poverty in a family than when the family first becomes a family. So what you do in our partnership together and what all of the agencies that deal with families do is so important, and I want to thank you for what you do.
Thank you.
Thank you so so much.
Thank you for your help.
All right, next up is Clearwater Martin Luther King Jr. Neighborhood Center. And I believe,
I do this all the time.
Carmen Lundy is here.
Yes, ma'am.
All right, you'll have 3 minutes to present for your public facility improvement project.
Good morning.
Good morning.
My name is Carmen Lundy. I'm board president of the Clearwater MLK Neighborhood Community Center Coalition, 1201 Douglas Ave in the city of Clearwater. For those who I've talked before, brief history, the center definitely has been around and served the North Pinellas County area in the North Greenwood for over about 40 years, benefiting a lot of different areas and things that we do there. It's a valuable place, you know, where our families come and gather together for weddings, graduations, birthdays, retirement parties, repasses. A lot of love goes on in that place. Our members, most of them grew up there in the area, works there, volunteer their time in the center. In 2011, as you know, before I told you that the center was closed for some reason, but closing the center was not acceptable. We're here now. We're trying to renovate this place. It becomes, again, that pillar, that history, that monument, that place where, again, you know, our families and people can benefit with the services. You think about right now, even with our auditorium as it is, we still have our families come out. I mean, where we don't have the grandness of things, even though it's a beautiful, grand facility and it needs work, but just in the shape it is, our families still come out, they have their weddings, they still have a place, you know, and of course we want to see these things get better for ourselves. We know that our center has been around servicing areas where we do our toy giveaways every year. We do all kinds of services that we do. We have a career ready program where we have our high schoolers come in and we get them prepared with job applications, college applications, resume writings. We have a senior cafe, you know, where we have our 55 and over, where we have once a month they come in and it's like social wellness. We have our computer lab now where we have beginners class with our seniors and all that are grand. We have 10 state-of-the-art touch-tone computers. We have a computer tech on staff that helps with people coming in to apply for jobs, apply for, you know, different things that they may need with their social services. We have the school board that want to come in and do job fair. So with that, we will be able to let them go in, put the application in online, and did that on-site interview at that time, you know, so it's a collaboration with there. We have a CRA, urban leadership, that's coming in. We have a recidivism, I can't say that word, recidivism, whatever, committee on staff, and what they do, you know, working with our returning citizens, you know, and trying to get them outsourced for things that would get them re-entered back into society, and we're working with that group. We have our ESOL. We have our classes where we're trying to reach out to our Hispanic community. We have the still Hispanic community coming in now doing events, and so we want to make sure we include these families as well. We have the Urban League that we're dealing with that's coming in with contract. Simply Healthcare, amazing ideas, the free phones. We have POC now that's coming in today. So I didn't never say what I want to say about why I need the money.
So tell us about your public facility improvement project.
The public facility improvement project. Now, all these grand resources, you know, we know just that borderline between thriving and diminishing is that resources. So we need these partners on site. With that, we have roof issues. We have plumbing issues. We have, you know, air conditioning issues. So we can't bring these partners on site comfortably and open up the doors to service when we got a leaky roof and we got plumbing and air conditioning. So the renovation is vital in order to sustain this building and to offer these services. You know, we did get fundings, but we know prices have risen so ridiculous. You know what I'm saying? We barely got enough money to do light repairs in certain areas and put a single overlay, which, you know, hold us. But we still got all these other things that we really need this help to be able to get this building in a place where it can 100% service this community and all our surrounding communities.
So the funds that you're seeking would be used in priority for the roof issues?
Absolutely.
Okay. And then after that would come the plumbing and the air conditioning issues? Or do you have it all packaged up in one?
Well, again, we have just enough to do minimum.
Okay.
The more we get, the more we can do.
Okay.
You know, and with that, if, depending on the type of bid, is the mercy that we get from our contractors that put these bids in that would allow us, again, with that budget, to determine how much can be done. But definitely the roof and air conditioning would be second.
Awesome. Do you have by chance an idea of how many families you serve every year?
Right now, we're dealing with so many different facets of projects. Our seniors are like loving it. So that's turning out a lot of the seniors. So if I had to give you a number based on last year, because COVID, year before COVID, you know, right now though, we're grand, we're rising, and we look forward to maybe 100 a day if we get these partners on site. You know, again, there's candid to what kind of numbers we can serve once we get our services up and running.
So you think you could serve up to 100 people a day?
Minimum.
Okay. Any other questions from the board?
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Stay blessed.
All right, our next two applicants have applied for funding for economic development activities. First, we'll hear from the Hispanic Business Initiative Fund of Florida, also known as Prospera. You will have 3 minutes to present.
Hello, my name is Fabian Yepes, Y-E-P-E-Z. P-E-Z. P as in Peter, E, Z as in zebra. Fabian, F-A-B-I-A-N. Always happens to me. First of all, thank you very much. I'm here, for those who don't know who Prospera is, we are an economic development nonprofit organization that's been around for now over 30 years. What we do is we help establish, sustain, and grow Hispanic-owned businesses, or if they're established or looking to open a new business. Our services are offered bilingual, but I would say 99% of them are offered in Spanish, and they're offered at no cost to any of our people. We have, what we're looking to do is to increase the number of sustainable micro enterprises that are here locally. We are looking mostly for obviously low to moderate income people in the areas determined by HUD. But when we see a lot of the people that are receiving our help, they are people who are either recently arrived, do not understand, have problems with language, have problems with not only with language but with how business is done here in the United States. Used to doing it some way. When they come here, there's a lot more. I saw a lot of similarities when they were talking. The people from the Suncoast Housing Committee was talking about how they need to start working with credit. How to build credit and all that, which is something that they're not familiar with. So we also assist with that. But basically, what we do is we provide educational seminars. We provide one-on-one consulting to help determine what the next steps are for these businesses, if they're capable of starting the business or not, or if they are already established, how to help them. And we do not give money directly, but what we do we have a lot of partnerships with several financial institutions, so we're able to help them with access to capital and guide them and make sure that they're able to access this. Other than that, we're looking out to serve a minimum of 25 people, different businesses. We do a lot of the consultations may repeat because it's a process. It's not like it's a one and done thing. It's a process. So actually, we've been working with some clients here for a few years now, and we've seen the growth and we've seen how they've been progressing. So it's very gratifying to see that some of these people are actually listening, going through the whole system and becoming successful. That's basically it. Thank you.
Any questions from the board?
We've seen applications from your program for multiple years now. And share with us either a success story or some type of outcome. You did say 25 businesses that you've helped, but can you put a little bit more detail into numbers over the years or some type of success story you could share with us?
Sure, we're seeing across all the Tampa Bay area, we're seeing maybe 450 clients a year. Out of those, I would say probably 60 are based here in Clearwater. Not all of them obviously qualify as we need them to qualify for because of be it household income or location. But we've helped somebody that, several of the businesses we've helped. I'm going to use, actually driving here on Drew Street, I saw Honka Auto Services. She acquired that business a few years ago, was having a little bit of problems getting the new people in, new clientele in. On top of everything, for a woman to own a car shop, it's a little bit, it's not as typical as it should be, but she's doing it. She's actually now looking into the process to acquire the location. She's been wanting to do it for a while, so she's trying to do that. And we've helped her with, we offer different technical assistance grants, like accounting assessment, marketing plans, business plans, and we've helped her with quite a few of these different grants. And she's gone through the whole process, and she's actually becoming very successful.
Thank you for that.
Any other questions from the board? All right, thank you so much.
Okay, thank you.
Next is the Tampa Bay Black Business Investment Corporation. And you will also have 3 minutes to present the funding application for your CATCH program.
Captain, if I may, these next two applicants, Mr. Lee and also our Parks and Rec department, they actually missed the application deadline.
Okay.
We chose to allow the applications to go through because it's not part of the competitive process with the public service applications. We can take economic development activities, applications, public facilities applications year-round. So we decided to say, okay, get your application in and we'll honor it. A previous application that you heard from Directions for Living, the application that they put in that met the deadline, we deemed ineligible. They asked if they could modify their application to address a different need, and we allowed that as well. So
okay.
Just full disclosure to let you know.
Excellent. Okay. Thank you.
Thank you all so much. My name is Albert Lee, President, Tampa Bay Black Business Investment Corporation. And I want to thank you all again for entertaining funding for us again this year. I want to thank Denise and Chuck and Danya and Irene for their help and support over the years. The Tampa Bay Black Business Investment Corporation has been around for 35 years. We are primarily a technical assistance and capital provider for small businesses, and we can provide that capital to all businesses. We do have some partnerships with some of our banking institutions that choose to target certain markets, black businesses and things like that, based on whether they're having issues with CRA and they need to meet their goals and things of that nature. But our services are offered across the board. We have serviced over 200 businesses in our process here with Clearwater over the years. The funding that we have through Clearwater primarily supports a 15-week intensive program that we have for entrepreneurs called our CATCH program. And CATCH stands for being coachable, action-oriented, timely, being collaborative, and help. So these are assets we think that people who are entrepreneurs need to have, right? These are things that they need to know about. So we put a 15-week program around helping individuals understand how to run their business more efficiently, which increases the outcome of them being more successful. Because when they come and apply to us for capital, obviously we want to make sure that they're successful so they can pay us back, because we borrow our capital to be able to loan to them, so we have to have good outcomes. And we've been in the Clearwater market now for about 4 years, and I've loved what I've seen happening over here in Clearwater when it comes to the entrepreneurship over in North Greenwood and Lake Bellevue area. And I wanted Marilyn here with me because she works with us here in Clearwater and has been responsible for a lot of that growth that we've seen in Clearwater. And then I'd like to share a success story with you here. But Marilyn, you want to highlight some of the companies that we've...
Oh, sure, absolutely. Good morning, everyone. Good morning. Yes, so it has been awesome to be able to watch individuals, some who have just started off in business and some who have been in business for some time. And they all, regardless of what their tenure is in this, they always say, wow, I wish, a gentleman recently said, who had been in business for 20 years, and he said, wow, I wish I had known this 20 years ago. And so we're really happy to see people get revelation about things that they can do to help them be more efficient. We have a number of people. We've mentioned Sarah Davis, who has Signature Graphics and Printing. She does I think she does work with the city as well. And she's doing great business. She does all kind of printing and signage and you name it. She's doing a lot of stuff. Also, Julie Worthington. If you've ever seen those bikes that are going down the road that have the lights that are lit up, she is making her round. She's doing some stuff out, some training out in California. She's caught the eye of several folk as far as her business and how it goes. And so she's doing great. Wow, there's a number of other folk. I guess I could look at the paper, huh? Okay, so, let me see what
Well, I wanted
my
to.
phone back there. I wanted to.
Yeah, no, I want, because this one is, the one that I want to talk to you about specifically is success story, to show you how all of this comes around. Recently, I believe it was March 26th, on a Saturday, they have a Saturday morning market here in Clearwater. That young lady, Renee Edwards, was came through one of our first cohorts in our catch program. Not only did she start a successful business, but one of the things she saw in coming through the catch program is how helpful it was for her to have cohort members and to also be able to offer opportunities for other vendors and other business owners to be able to showcase their products. So she came through our catch program, and through that, she saw a need for what it is that she's doing now. And so she's looking at ways to help additional entrepreneurs. So I see that as coming full circle. And so it's been a pleasure for us to do this. It's been an absolute pleasure. We hope that we can continue to get your support to continue to do that.
Excellent. Any questions from the board? May I ask what your funding assistance is for?
$50,000 would be primarily to help with paying for our consultant that we have over here, and then some of the other activities. We have I don't know if you've ever had a chance to come or attend. I know Chuck and Denise have come to our catch graduation. That program is where all of our participants, we bring them to a formal program, and they get a chance, if they want to enter the pitch competition. They can do a pitch competition, which we will pay. I think the winner got $1,000 last year, and second place got like $700, and third place got like $250. So we provide that to them. They get a chance to meet all of the other cohort members and set up an opportunity for them to partner with each other. So the funding would be to help support that and to support the programming, which is obviously being carried out by individuals. So. And
how many business owners or aspiring business owners usually participate in the program per session?
We try to get 10 per catch cohort.
Excellent. Yeah. Thank you so much. Anything else? All right. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
All right. Number 16. An effective way to use our CDBG funds is to ensure a benefit across a wide range of Clearwater residents is to invest in the city's public recreation facilities. The city recently completed a project at Belmont Park in our Lake Bellevue community with a combination of CDBG grant and the city's general fund. It is a great improvement to the park, and we're seeing a dramatic increase in the neighborhood use, and it reopened only a couple weeks ago. The Parks and Recreation Department is proposing 2 more projects in the same community. And Mr. Lane, I believe you would like to say a few words before this presentation?
Yeah, just to clear up, we have a policy. We don't allow folks to put in 2 applications in the same fiscal year for the same facility. They can have 2 public facility applications if they're different facilities. These are 2 applications for the same facility, but they're not for the same fiscal year. They're going to try to get one of these projects done in the current fiscal year, and the other project is for the fiscal year beginning on 10/1, so it doesn't violate our policies. So, Ms. Marsalek.
Okay, yes. Good morning. I'm Carrie Marsalek, M-A-R-S-A-L-E-K. I'm with the City of Clearwater's Parks and Recreation Department. I'm the program senior manager. I'm glad to be with you today. Please know we're bringing these 2 proposed projects forward. What we do in our department, everything we do in our department is intentional. We're looking to serve the community, and in these 2 projects, we're looking to serve specifically the Lake Bellevue Neighborhood Revitalization Area. We did this with our Belmont Park revitalization project that we did last year that Mr. Lane just discussed. And so what we're doing is we're bringing 2 additional projects. The first is a recreational pier that is proposed for the 21-22 fiscal year, and we continue to focus on encouraging outdoor activities. With the pandemic, that is something that we've all had to explore more, right? More outdoor activities. That coupled with the community continuously asking for a recreational pier in Lake Bellevue. And if you haven't been to Lake Bellevue, it is gorgeous. It really is just a lovely area. So what this would do, this would allow community members of all abilities to utilize the lake in a new way, which is through this recreational pier. And it truly is a uniquely beautiful lakefront area. And with this, it's in keeping with the CDC guidelines that encourages people to recreate more outdoors. And even with the ebb and flow of the pandemic, that does not go away. That's something that we're still committed to in our department to bring more opportunities forward. And this recreational pier will be used for fishing, aquatic and wildlife observation, and other educational opportunities that we're working with our Moccasin Lake Nature Park as well on that. And with this, we also propose we're having staff-led programs already, fishing related. They literally stand on the bay. So this will allow them to go out on the pier, and it'll be lovely. We propose this project is a total cost of $150,000. We're requesting a $90,000 for this project. Our second project is a playground. And I asked 2 of my favorite 4.5-year-olds this morning, why do you like playgrounds so much, which are my children? And they said, playgrounds are fun, we get to be outdoors, we get to play and go down slides. It was really lovely. So I'm keeping that in mind this morning. And at the Ross Norton Recreation Complex, which is on the property connected to Lake Bellevue, we have a junior welfare board after-school program. Raise that up a little bit. Kind of counterintuitive how you do that. There we go. So we have our Ross Norton Recreational Center here, and our playground is way over here. And so one of the things that we hope to do is bring a smaller playground to, after we renovate part of our skate park, which is here, it overlooks Lake Bellevue. And with the 43 children that are served in the after-school program that's funded through JWB at this facility, as well as up to 100 children that are in our summer camp program at this facility, they're school age, they're age 5 through 12. They would be able to utilize the playground in a secure location. It's near bathrooms. It's near all of our other staff in the facility. And they would not have to cross through the parking lot here all the way over here to the building. So we're very excited about this opportunity, and we're working with the kids in this program to say, what would you like in the playground? And they love to share their opinions, which is really lovely. This program, or the playground, will have adequate shade structures. It will also be in keeping with the Pinellas County Licensing Board for the guidelines that we must ensure to continue to receive the JWB funding for this program. And for this, we propose, this is a $150,000 project, and we are requesting $90,000 in 22-23 fiscal year. And with that, I'm happy to answer any questions that you have. Any questions from the board? You said there's a current playground? So the current playground, yes, it's over here on MLK. And so we're proposing to bring it here within our fenced area. And because of the location near the lake, it would have to, the fencing that we have is adequate, but we will ensure as well that it's maintained. But what I so love about this is that it is more secure for the children as they're playing on the playground. It will be better site visualization related to the staff ratio that we are required to have. And it just is something that the staff have been asking for years. Same with the pier. The community has been asking for the pier for years, and that has only increased with the pandemic. So related to the playground, it will be a secured location. The other one will remain open to the public, the other playground, and this will be open to the public when it's not the after-school time or not the summer camp time. We'll be able to restrict access.
Any other questions? All right, thank you so
A
much.
few years ago, we really opened up a dialogue with this neighborhood. Our planning and development department really carried the water on it and really did a good job at building a relationship there with the community. And we got, that Lake Bellevue project, that was a community-based initiative. And that's what's great about it. It wasn't something that we did and we said, here, you need this, have this. It was a collaboration from with the community, and these two projects are as well, so it's exciting.
Very good. Thank you. All right, last but certainly not least is the Intercultural Advocacy Institute, also known as the Hispanic Outreach Center. They have a public service application to present. So you will have 3 minutes. Good morning.
Good morning. My name is Andrea Vendetti, and I'm the program coordinator at the Hispanic Outreach Center in Clearwater. Our organization has been providing services in Clearwater for more than 20 years. And we're here today to ask for your support to continue one of our programs that has been very successful. It is the Youth Leaders Partnership Program. This program brings middle school students, high school students, and parents together. They meet every other week at the Hispanic Outreach Center to build skills and resilience for the students to continue school and succeed in their school to pursue a higher education. And our program has been successful because it brings parents and students together, and the parents get involved in the students' education in a culturally and sensitive way. We have been providing this program since 2012 with the support of JWB and the funds of CDBG. Last year, we provided services to 26 families who were very involved in the community. They were volunteering in many public events. The students were participating in public engagements and doing a lot of activities. And we have here with us one of our students, Janelli Franco Cruz, and she would like to share with you her experience in the program.
Thank you, Ms. Andrea, for that wonderful introduction. Good morning, everyone. It is with my pleasure to be here with you all as I represent the youth from the Hispanic Outreach Center. It has been 8 amazing years full of learning and bonding. The YLP program has granted me many opportunities, such as volunteering in our annual events, attending meetings every other week, learning new resources, getting involved, as well as attending their summer camps. I'd also like to share how the YLP program has helped me grow personally. When I first started, I was more reserved and introverted. Now I can communicate better with others easily and freely. All in all, words cannot describe how extremely thankful I am for the help the program has given me to better prepare for college. I am proud to be a first-generation college student. Thanks to the YLP program, I now have a set base on starting college at SBC, where I will be a part of the nursing program. I want to end with a big thank you to the board on behalf of the youth in the Hispanic Outreach Center for funding this important program. The YLP has been a family to me, and I hope to still have the opportunity to return occasionally after I graduate when they need the extra hand. Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Thank you. We're very proud of our students, and we're very happy to see how they succeed and the impact that our program, it affects on them, because the parents need a lot of support. They're immigrant families, and they need to understand the school system, how do we work, and how to support the children. So we have seen a great impact. Do you have any questions?
I have a
Sure.
quick question for you. So you said that last year you were able to help 26 families.
Yes.
Do you have a goal number for this next year?
We expect to maintain the 26 families, maybe a little more.
Okay.
We just need, we always are willing to help more families, but we just need funding.
Exactly.
And the funds will support our coordinator and also staff to provide the groups.
Excellent. Any questions from the board?
Just one clarification, and it may have been this way all along. but you said the program meets every other week.
Yes.
Is that new since COVID, or has it always been every other week?
It's always been every other week. We used to meet in person, but with the pandemic, we start providing our groups virtually. So that also help us to give more information and bring professionals to give some, speech and talk some topics. But we are back in person now, but it's every other week.
Thank you.
And we meet 1 week at Norton because it's a larger space. So for COVID, we accommodate the families at Norton. And then the other week is virtual still.
Any other questions?
So our order of application is a bit random. Presentations, I'm sorry. What we do is we actually put them in the order that they submitted their application, their first application. This group actually submitted fairly early on, asked to go last because I believe Ms. Cruz had something she had to do at school today.
School always comes first, always.
Thank you very much.
Excellent, thank you so much.
I don't have a question, but I do want to take advantage of this opportunity, and I want to personally thank you, Ms. Bandera. I have used your services in the past, many, many years ago, and it did impact me in a positive way. Thank you very much.
Thank you. I appreciate that. Thank you.
All right, thank you so much. All right, that was our last presentation. This was weird. This is always, I don't want to say this is our favorite meeting of the year, because that would be, putting it out there that we have favorite meetings, but this is always such an interesting time for us on this board to see what we can actually accomplish, right? And understanding that we can only affect the residents of Clearwater, as many residents of Clearwater as we want to, if we have great partners to do it with. So thank you all for coming out today and waiting for your turn and keeping it under the 3 minutes and making it work. We really appreciate it. All right, that concludes our scheduled business items for the day. We are going to go through the rest of the agenda. Item 5 is old business. Does the board have any old or new business to discuss? Nothing? Okay, great. We'll move on to item 6, which is director's report. Mr. Lane, do you have anything additional to report?
Well, it's been a long meeting. I'll be brief, but this annual action plan is one of 3 that we are working on. We are working on an amendment to our current annual action plan, and that is largely to budget the home art money that we have, $1.6 million plus, that we will be coming to you with a plan for that. That is in the works right now. We've already taken applications. That application period is closed. And we will also very likely be amending our CDBG CV annual action plan. So more to come on that. You'll see this stuff in the next couple of months. So, okay. I did send the board, Ms. Hebding and I talked earlier, I sent you all a letter that was sent to me, and it was asked that I forward that on to you. If you'd like to talk about that at next meeting, we can do that. I'd prefer not to agenda it. It's not a document that we created. It came from a concerned citizen who I did take the time to meet with. Very impressive lady who knows a lot about the issues our folks are facing in our community. So if you want to talk about that, we can raise that at one of these later items in the agenda.
Yeah, let's do that.
Yeah, and that'll be up to the board if you want to do that.
Okay.
So, okay. Any questions for me? Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you.
All right, item 7 is board members to be heard. I'll start to my right for comments. No comments? Okay, great. Our next NAHAB meeting is scheduled for Tuesday, May 10th at 9 a.m. right here in Council Chambers, and the board is adjourned. Thank you.